After reviewing your notes from the beginning of our first day with the Skittles project, I've listed some objectives that people had questions about. One of them would be merging and centering data, adjusting formulas, creating borders, making a duplicate copy of the sheet, displaying formulas, creating a column chart or bar chart, pie chart, and print options. So this video will discuss some of these points so you can go back and review at your convenience. The one thing that you need to remember about merging and centering data is that you can only do one row at a time. So what you're going to do is take your title that is in row 1, hold down your left mouse button, and drag it across through column I. Many of your formatting options are saved under the Home tab. So you'll click your Home tab and then look for the icon that says Merge and Center. Notice you do have a drop-down arrow so you can merge across, you can merge cells. We are going to do Merge and Center. So now that title is displayed in one cell going across. Another formatting option that we worked with is making sure that your text wraps so that you can see a cell like this and see the whole cell. Again, your formatting options are under the Home tab. So I can take this whole range of data in my third row, and under my Home tab there is an option that says Wrap Text. When you do that, notice the height of the row increases to accommodate the text that you have in there. If your row height wasn't big enough and it looked like it was wrapped, you can click on the row number and double click and it'll automatically resize. So you click between row 3 and 4 and double click and it will automatically adjust. Right now I have formulas all shaded in different colors. I'm going to delete these formulas and re-enter them. So if I wanted to know the total of the purple Skittles, my formulas are under the Home tab also. And I can place my cursor in cell F4, hit my AutoSum, and Excel automatically chooses what it believes my formula to be, and it's saying B4 through B7. I can hit enter, and now I have the formula in that first row. The next formula is my average by color. Again, I can hit my formula with my equal sign. Another way to do it is to hit your equal sign and look for your formulas over here on the left side of your screen. I want to do average. So now I want to do, Excel is saying my average is B4 through F4. You would never include totals in your average, so one of two ways I can do this. I can place my cursor after the F4 and just type in E4 and hit OK. Getting my highest number, I can hit my equal sign, come up here to my formula bar, and look for my max function. And right now, Excel is saying G4. If I want to change that, the collapse button is here with the red arrow. I can click on that, take my mouse, and again, don't take your totals when you're dealing with the highest, because that will distort your values. B4 through E4, hit enter. And now for my lowest, that will be your min function, equals, and choose min. If you don't see it, you can say more functions and then simply type min and it will come to that formula. Min will grab the lowest number. Again, it's defaulting to G4 through H4. If I don't want that, I can hit my collapse button and select B4 through E4. So now I have my formulas in the top row. And I did show you the fill handle the other day, but I also want to show you how the fill handle. I can take all of these formulas, click in the bottom right-hand corner, and drag down. And it will copy those formulas relative to where I copied them from. All my formulas adjust. If I show on formulas right now, I'm going to do formulas, show formulas, and notice that you can see that each row as I move down, it moved down one more row for me. So that's a quick way to enter the formulas in one row and then still be able to see your answers. So now the last place that you want to put a formula in is your totals line down here in yellow. And I can either go to my home tab and choose auto sum, or I can hit the equal sign. B4 through B9. It's okay to take the row B9 because there isn't any values in there, and if later on you added something else, it would automatically adjust your formula. So I like to do that and take my bottom row closest to my total line. So I'm going to click on that, and before I take my fill handle and copy it across, let's add some borders, which was another skill that you learned. Go to my home tab, and you have your border line next to your bold underline. Click on your drop down arrow, and for totals you want to have a top line single and a double line border bottom. I also like to make my total line a little taller so I can manually hold my left mouse button down and drag that and see how the row 10 became a little bit taller. Now take your fill handle and copy it across all the way through cell F10. Notice at the bottom of my worksheet I have 3 different sheets, and I have named them, and I did that by double clicking on the sheet name. Now I'm going to show you how to make a duplicate copy of this sheet that has main. I'm going to right click, go up to move or copy sheet, and I want to move it to the end. But the important part is that where it says create copy at the bottom, click that checkbox and hit OK. Notice now I have a new sheet named Main 2. Double click on that sheet and call it Formulas. So now in my formula sheet, this is where I want to show my formulas, and you can verify that you have done things correctly. So displaying formulas is under your formula menu option, and then you'll see show formulas over to the right where it's shaded in green on the top. So now when I show formulas, you can see the different formulas here showing up in my shaded areas. When you do your formula sheet, you can shrink down everything so that just the formula shows up. So I'm going to go between these different columns, shrink down so that only the formula is showing up. And I can resize so that I'll be able to fit this on one page. Generally with formulas, you want to have your print set up to be landscape and fit to one page. So when you go to set print settings, you go to your page layout tab. Now if I go to orientation, that's where I can say, do I want my paper to be vertically portrait, or do I want it to be landscape? I'm going to choose landscape. Now if I hit File, Print, and I can see preview on here, I can see that everything fit on one page. The other thing I like to do in formulas is to show row column headings. I'm dealing with the way I want something to print out, and generally anything that you want to print is going to be under your page layout tab. So when you go over here to the grid line and heading section for sheet options, click on print, click both of those grid lines, print grid lines and headings. Now when I hit print preview, notice that I can see the row column headings. This is the way formulas should always be printed. The last step will be to add our footer. Footers can be added two different ways. You think about you want to insert a footer, you can do that from the insert menu and you see header and footer. You can also do it through the page layout tab under your print titles. And under the print titles is where you can see if you want to make something fit to more than one page. If it's not fitting on a page, you can force it by doing the scaling button. So remember, there's more than one way to do the header and footer. I'm going to go to custom footer, and then you get a choice of what you want to include in your footer. I want to include the file name and path. So this is going to show me exactly where my file is saved by just clicking on the yellow folder option. And if I go over to sheet name, it will give me the formula tab. So now when I hit OK and hit print preview, I can see that this is saved under P, Computers, Excel, Skittles, Formulas. If you don't like how the words are running together under your formula with your tab name, you can go back in and edit your formula and get rid of the tab there, and either under your center hex or hitting enter and then put your tab in there, you're able to see it a little bit more readable. So now notice the difference there if you want to see the tab name underneath it. That's a little bit less cluttered. So that concludes the basic setups. The next video will deal with how to create your graph.